If you've been laid off, your first instinct might be to update your resume and start applying for jobs all over the place. I get it. But I want you to pause. I don't want you to update your resume or your LinkedIn just yet, because in this video, I'm going to share 4 critical things that you should do first to ensure your job search is effective and a lot less stressful. Now, this article is on my Substack if you want to follow along. And before I begin, I want to also acknowledge that there is a range of emotions that comes with any layoff. It could be sadness or anger. And for some, it's relief and excitement. Whatever you are feeling right now is valid, especially if this was your first job, or maybe just a place that you really liked the community or the sense of purpose. There can be a real loss here. So try not to take it personally, because these layoffs, especially today, are business decisions that are not reflections of your worth. You are not your job title. Your value does not disappear because a company had a mandate to cut 10%. And I have seen both sides. I was laid off from my very first job, and later I worked in human resources where I had to deliver those tough messages. So being laid off can make us feel like we've lost a little bit of control. That's important to remember. So I want to help you get a handle on these things so that way you feel more in control. Okay? So the first step is to understand all the details of your layoff. It can be a lot. You have severance pay. How many weeks or months are they going to give you? Does it include unused vacation? Any bonus? Do you have to sign things? And if so, by what date? Now, sometimes there's unemployment that you can apply for either now or later. So you want to start investigating with your state unemployment pretty soon, because those processes can take a long time. Now, health insurance is a big one. If you are married and your spouse has health insurance, this is a life-changing event. So you do not need to wait for open enrollment if you want to join their plan. But you might want to compare, what is the company offering you? What other options out there can you purchase that might actually be more affordable? And then some people might want to get a legal opinion, especially if you were in a really complex job, maybe high security, something where you had to sign a non-compete that limits your job options. So it might be worth investing in a 1-hour consultation with an employment attorney to make sure that you're not signing anything that does not serve your best interests. When it comes to these severance packages, I will say severance can be negotiated. I've seen it happen. I was in the room when it was authorized. So it's something to think about either now or down the road. Okay, so once you have figured out all of your details, step number 2 is to really get clear on your finances. Not just your monthly budget, but what is your runway for the next 3, 6, 12 months? How long will your short-term savings or this combination of severance last you? So do you have other income sources? Because if you can contract or freelance, I would start doing that right now just to extend that financial cushion. And if you have any other big payments coming up, if you have kids in school and there's tuition, you might want to give them a call just to let them know that there's been a big change in your life. If you have less than 6 months of savings, you're going to need to focus your search on getting hired quickly on something very similar. That's probably a lateral move, right? But if you have 6 months or more, or 12 months, you might have flexibility to explore a career pivot, a change. Again, another reason to pause before you start throwing out that resume so you can think about what path you want to take. Now, step 3, kind of my favorite here, is to rebuild a new routine, because the idea of lounging around in our sweats might be appealing, but then that gets old real fast. So sticking to a routine will give you some control, some normalcy, and it will help you gain some momentum because you have the time and the structure to put plans into place. So start with your structure, whatever that is, that you get out of bed at roughly the same time. And then you have building blocks. Like in the morning, I'm going to do this job search and this research. I'm going to take a break for lunch. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to do networking, something like that. And within this routine, structure some self-care. Prioritize your self-care now. Do some exercise, take some walks. You can watch free videos on YouTube, whatever works for you. And why not use this time to do some meal prep and make your meals? Not only do you save money, but you can then make sure that you're eating right in a way that you've always said you wanted to get healthier, right? Now, the other thing around your structure and your routine is to get grounded, because that layoff can shake your identity. You are more than your job. And sometimes you're going to have to remind yourself of that. So maybe some morning journaling. That's where I like to start, with prompts like 5 things I am grateful for, 5 things I am proud of, 5 accomplishments. And maybe you can even journal on what is the upside of this change, because some people really use this as a reset, and reflecting on what's important to you, maybe the moments where you made a difference, where you were really a good mentor and you helped with a new employee, things like that. Those can boost your spirits. That fourth step now is to make your plan. You've got your logistics figured out, you've assessed your finances, you've got your new routine, right? Now it's time to ask, what do you want next? And again, your financial runway has a big influence here. So do you want a job just like the last one, or do you want something very, very different? How different? And maybe you like what you do, you just need a different company, something that aligns with your values. And yes, something with more stability. And right now, healthcare seems to be the one industry that is constantly hiring, by the way. And remember what cultures you thrive in. Do you like that small office? Do you like a big office? Did you enjoy that first job out of college? What were the dynamics of some of those places you worked, and how can you replicate that in your search? This is where your networking comes in. But it's important that you have spent some time really assessing what you want to do. That way, when you're calling people, you're not just saying, oh, hey, I got laid off. You're saying, yes, I was part of this layoff, and now I'm looking for this. So you can pivot quickly out of the concept that you got laid off, and then let them know what you're working toward. And if you decide to pivot careers, now your resume can reflect those future goals. Your resume can highlight the things that you really want to be doing going forward, not just your past experience. And the same thing goes for your LinkedIn. Your About section should highlight the things that you are moving toward. And if you have picked up some relevant contract or freelance work, now is the time to add it. So again, to recap, the 4 things you should do after you are laid off. 1, understand all the details of your layoff, from severance, unemployment, or insurance benefits. Number 2, review your finances so you know your financial runway, and that will impact your job search strategy. 3rd, start a new routine with good structure and take care of yourself. And 4th, yes, now you can make that plan, figure out what you want to do next, and get moving on your job search with lots of networking, because you have a lot to offer and the world is waiting for you. Good luck. I am Diana Bernal. You can follow me here on Substack, on LinkedIn, and let me know what questions you have. I'll see you next week.